Beautiful friends, beautiful souls, it is Tuesday, April 9th, 2024, coming at you from Sedona, Arizona, and the time has come once again to vibe with your tribe and feed that prediction addiction. The new moon rung in yesterday. Along with that, we had that long-awaited, fear-driven eclipse in which nothing unusual happened, thankfully, very thankfully. Doesn't mean things aren't going to happen, because they sure are. But now there's magic flowing in the air. Can you actually feel it? Because I sure can. I can feel the vibration of the earth. It's been quite amazing. At the same time, we are going through a very amazing cycle as this marks off the very first day of a very important cycle on our planet. A cycle that is about to bring about shocking events, very shocking events. Truth being exposed, horrific storms, earthquakes, and extreme flaring up of volcanoes, both on land and beneath the ocean. It's going to be interesting. Speaking of volcanoes, it wasn't that very long ago that Spirit pulled me to Mount Etna in Sicily, Italy, showing us that the eruption lies in the near future of Mount Etna. Could that near future be much sooner than we anticipated? Like yesterday, for example, because during the eclipse, it was reported that Mount Etna was puffing rings of smoke into the sky. It was pretty neat looking. I'll show you that today if you haven't seen it. So is Mount Etna and other volcanoes, of course, about to awaken on a whole nother level? They sure are. And I'm going to tell you all about that today. Just as Spirit said, the tectonic plates are certainly beginning to flare up over the past week, less than a week, just over the past 3 or 4 days, really. And I expect a huge flare-up in the Pacific Ring of Fire. You are aware already, of course, of the 4.8 earthquake that hit New Jersey. But some say there's no coincidence that the epicenter, according to USGS, is at White House Station, New Jersey. White House? White House Station? Interesting. Is it a coincidence? Because remember what Spirit told us in the past, that there was going to be a huge shaking coming to the White House. The one, the White House in D.C., not White House Station in New Jersey. A big shaking was coming to the White House. I took that more as a metaphorically. So is that a sign? Is this a sign from Mother Earth, from our divine creator, as to what's to come, especially for the White House? The eclipse crossed over many cities, as you know, called Jonah and Nineveh. I can actually, again, feel the vibration of the earth literally shifting. It's wild, and I haven't felt it like this before. It's the first time. And I'm really sensitive, especially to the earth's energy. We all are, some more than others. So I see this happening, and I can feel the vibration. And I'm going to tell you all about what I've been feeling over the past 24 hours, actually. You may also remember my continuous warnings for our friends in Indonesia. Well, Indonesia just got hit this morning with a 6.6 shallow quake. It was the first quakes in the shallow red, since the one that hit New Jersey, White House Station. And then there were several in New Jersey, Gladsboro and a couple other places, but that first 4.8 was in White House Station. So who could be next, along with Indonesia? Are they on the edge of a massive earthquake and perhaps even a massive tsunami? I'm going to tell you that because I feel like we are about to go into a tsunami season. And I'm going to tell you why I believe that and why I feel that and what the stars say about that happening. So remember last week I shared my visions of my friend's dream, and we, did some interpretation and pulled us to Boston, Massachusetts. I also mentioned the Boston Marathon. That was what Spirit showed me in the visions, and strange connections to the number 11. If you missed that, go back to last week's show because it's quite interesting. And we have that 11th anniversary of that Boston Marathon coming up in when's it coming up? Less than a week, actually, which is interesting. I think it takes place on the 15th, if I remember correctly. So all these 11 connections, and it was 2013 since that last tragedy happened at the marathon. So again, that makes it the 11th anniversary this year. Kind of a bit strange, to say the least. So mainly the largest marathon in the world, I just discovered, is crossing a bridge. Remember, that's what we went and looked at the marathon to see if there were bridges that were crossed. That's what I thought maybe Spirit was showing me. Well, it just so happens that one of the largest marathons in the world crosses a bridge that just so happened to be almost taken out, like the one in Maryland, by a barge who suddenly lost propulsion. Sounds like another hack to me. We're going to talk about that and the risks and how this aligns with this very controversial marathon that comes up right before the election, friends. I think it's November 3rd. I'm pretty sure it's November 3rd, the New York Marathon. So I'm going to tell you about that bridge, what the bridge is, and the controversy revolved around it, connecting the dots from past predictions and warnings from Spirit, revolved around New York City, bridges, tunnels, and even Boston, Massachusetts. 2 more planes. 2 more. It seems like a weekly occurrence, doesn't it? Almost a daily occurrence. But we had 2 more planes make very close calls to making a crash landing. First, we had a plane that almost took out the control tower at a specific airport. That was a Southwestern flight. And these aeroplanes, friends, they seem to be falling apart in midair. Because another Southwestern flight, as you probably know by now, had to make an emergency landing when the cover of the engine started to fall apart in the sky. That's weird, friends. Quite scary to fly nowadays, to say the least. And will this ever end? And what's next in the world of aeroplanes? We're going to talk about that. All of this, actually. A new warning for bridges and a list of new predictions to help feed that prediction addiction. On this episode, number 112 of Tuesday's Prediction Update. And y'all know what time it is?
It's tea time, baby!
Beautiful friends, beautiful souls, once again, Satnam, welcome, hola, I hope you're having an amazing day. It is 12:40 p.m. as I'm recording this in Sedona, Arizona on Tuesday, April 9th. I welcome you to my channel and back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Joseph Tittel, aka Spiritman JT. I welcome you with infinite love and gratitude. And infinite love and gratitude goes out to all of the members of this tribe. If you want accurate predictions, prophecy, and truth, you got to smash that there subscribe and join our tribe, friends. You'll be glad you did so. Thank you to all the supporters, whether you're a member down below, whether you send contributions through Spotify, Rumble, YouTube, or what have you, PayPal, and the list goes on. I couldn't do this without you, and I thank you, again, with infinite love and gratitude, for making this all possible. Down below in the description, you will find the link to my newsletter, along with all the links to the social media. And if you ever receive a message on social media from a profile that appears to be me, I assure you, it is not me. There's lots of phonies out there that like to scam others under other people's names. It doesn't just happen to me, it happens to a lot. So if you're getting messages from me or others that seem to be too good to be true, it's not true. So beware. Report those profiles, please. All the information on me, booking private sessions, upcoming classes, masterclass, and so forth, you can find directly on my website at josephtittel.com, Tittel. Or to make it easier, go to spiritmanjt.com. Take you to the same place. And we are still working on redesigning that website. It is a new design, but still adding to it and such. So it takes time. Everything takes time, friends. So shall we move on now to episode number 112
Of tea time, baby!
Behold, the earth is alive and the magic is afoot. As a completely new tsunami wave of energy just came flowing in yesterday with the new moon and the solar eclipse. Quite interesting vibration going on right now. And this can really have our energy shifting from being tired and groggy to suddenly having bursts of energy and energy just coming out of nowhere. And therefore, you may have had some restless sleep the past few nights. Past few nights, you might have even had deeper sleep. It varies from person to person and affects us all differently. But you may find your sleep being, again, quite a bit restless, getting up earlier or not being able to sleep at all. But even more so, have you noticed the increase in your dream memory? Not only your dream memory, but your dream recollection, having more visual dreams and actually remembering them now. It's a challenge I've always had, remembering dreams. But I've noticed the past few days, the recollection being more clear, seeing things, get up in the middle of the night, remember things, make sure you write it down. This cycle is going to take our intuition to a whole new level, friends. A whole new level, and it's going to give us a great opportunity to raise our vibrations and beginning to manifest our dreams and visions and aspirations. Good, amazing time that we just stepped into. But remember, we have to, in order to receive the best results from these energy shifts and this ascension and the ascension codes that are coming in, we have to be willing to put the work into it, friends. And that work is into ourselves. And of course, a non-selfish way. Work into ourselves to help us to expand our consciousness, whether it be meditating more often or meditating if you don't meditate, utilizing prayer, ceremony, or whatever else that you could possibly do to help expand your consciousness. Take a few new classes. Read a book, a good book, an educational book, especially one that is spiritually grounded or on a spiritual level. At the same time, hold on tight. Hold on very tight, friends, because another acceleration in time and space is just starting to occur, quickly shifting us from one dimension to another eventually. So you may notice from this point forward that the days are going to go faster and faster. We're speeding up in time. We're accelerating according to spirit, which is apparently a good thing, needs to happen. Remember, we cannot allow those who are very set in their ways to continuously pull us down. You are going to notice a side of people coming up over the next month, a side of people that you've never witnessed before. And this could be a bad, wicked side, or it could also be a positive, caring, kind side of people. We're going to witness both. It's going to be pretty interesting. And it's never, our position to judge others, of course, never ever. Judgment of others is literally just judgment of ourselves. So take advantage of this amazing time, friends. Take great advantage of this new wave of energy and utilize it to the best of your ability. For come the next full moon, which I think is the 23rd, I'm pretty sure it's the 23rd, but don't quote me on that, somewhere around there. But that next full moon, we're going to have another huge, giant wave of energy that's going to come in. And this energy is there to help us utilize it to the best of our ability. Therefore, the full moon, again, is a time where we're going to be able to witness the heavy baggage that's been weighing us down finally begin to dissolve away. About time, wouldn't you say? Let us move on to volcanoes and volcanic eruptions as volcanoes now awaken on a whole nother level. It wasn't really that long ago that Spirit pulled me to Mount Etna in Sicily, Italy, showing us that there were going to be eruptions that lie in the near future around Mount Etna. Could that near future be approaching much sooner than the folks in Sicily would want it to? Yesterday, during the eclipse, or some point yesterday, it was reported that Mount Etna was suddenly putting out puffs of smoke forming into rings. It's like Mount Etna was blowing rings, smoke rings. Kind of interesting. Not only that, so the smoke rings into the skies, but is Mount Etna about to awaken? Smoke rings were observed coming from Sicily's Mount Etna on Sunday after a vent opened up on the southeastern crater last week, so it was before the eclipse. Footage shows the largest active volcano in action. Oh, long story short, we know that it seems to be awakening on some level or another, and look at the footage and how cool it is of those puffs of smoke just coming up out of the sky. I think it's really amazing. Spirit says a minor eruption will come before the much larger one hits in the second round of earthquakes. It is not just Mount Etna, according to Spirit. There will be several in Italy becoming active over the next year to 2 years, but especially just over the next year, so between now and 2025. 2025 is going to be wild. Spirit warned me about 2025 decades ago, so it'll be interesting to see how that falls into place. But let's get through 2024 first, shall we? So small quakes leading to a large quake, a damaging quake, will show that a large eruption will follow soon after. So we're keeping an eye on small quakes, then a large quake that causes damage. I don't know how much damage, but damage for sure. And then Spirit says, expect the huge volcanic blast to come soon after. Especially a huge volcanic blast that will soon be coming out of Indonesia. That could be the one where I had visions of last year, friends. Could be. Because just last month, Spirit also pointed to Iceland, if you recall, having another volcanic eruption. That thing's erupted a few times, and even a new one. So this also just came into fruition. And there's no doubt whatsoever that the plates are shifting as Mother Earth awakens on this whole new level. That eclipse brought new light to the planet, friends. An amazing new light. So it's not a time to fear. It's not a time to be scared. It's a time to be prepared, willing to do the work, and ready to ascend on amazing levels. For some people, yeah, it'll be Armageddon. They're ripping their hair out. Oh my God, screaming, right? But then there's going to be the others who are, it's a beautiful day. What can I do to make it even better? Which side of the fence are you going to be on? I know what side of the fence I'm on, and will continue to stay on. So, knock on wood. Don't knock on wood. Definitely don't knock on wood. Did you actually know that saying, knock on wood, is actually an ancient thing that summons demons? Yeah. And I used to do that all the time. Knock on wood. All the time. Until I found out the truth. So going back to these volcanic eruptions that are now happening in Iceland, you may recall that I said once before that we would witness the northern lights, the borealis, in places that we would never see it. Never see it. I said that last year, and then it happened. And in northern Arizona, northern or southern Arizona, I forget what part, not where I'm at, but in Arizona, they were seeing the northern lights, and other places too. Spirit says that's coming again in the near future. And it just came to Iceland, but I'm pretty sure they're used to northern lights up there in Iceland. But check out this really interesting footage I'm going to show you in a minute. But I wanted to bring up this article. So in my home state of Arizona, again, we did see I wish I saw them. I didn't see them. That'd be really cool to see some northern lights over Sedona, Arizona. That would be something. Lava unleashed. Iceland's fiery spectacle on Reykjanes Peninsula. I probably butchered the name of that. The latest fissure eruption on Iceland's, now how do you say this? Reykjanes Peninsula was the largest of 4 recent bouts of activity near the town of Grindavik. Lava poured from the volcano near the town of Grindavik, Iceland, in spring of 2024. The eruption began on March 16th and remained. That was, last year? No, 2024, they said. 2024. But the eruption happened again on March 30th. The natural color seen was overlaid with the infrared signal and helped to distinguish the lava's heat signature. Why would you even want to know that? It's hot. That's all you need to know. It's hot and stay away from it. That's all you need to know. So, we're still waiting for my visions of the massive volcanic eruption that I had visions of. And even some of my students in Shamanic Journey in my master classes had visions of the similarities of another big eruption that's compared to La Palma's eruption we had a few years back. What was that, 2020, I think? 2019, somewhere around there. So Spirit says there's going to be one like that, even bigger than La Palma, that will cause flight delays, flight cancellations, and evacuations. And I feel right now, and you may feel it too, that we are on the edge of an eruption. And it very well could be an eruption that happens between Indonesia and Italy. I'm more concerned with the latter part of this year, especially around, before and after the October eclipse that's coming, which crosses over the Pacific. That's really going to ignite things even more. The eclipse did just cross over the Pacific, but it's going to place an X over the Pacific, which I showed you a picture of recently. I think in my eclipse video or our live eclipse party. Oh, speaking of which, Yesterday, we did a great meditation. Well, I did a great meditation live for the Eclipse party. It's a meditation that brings healing to yourself and also to the planet and helps you manifest. It's about 30 minutes, 33 minutes into the video. So check that video out, jump ahead, listen to that meditation. It's like not that long, I think 10 minutes. You'll be glad you did. Actually, it's 11 minutes long, and you'll be glad you did. So check that meditation out. So again, it could very well be between Indonesia and Italy. I am more concerned with the latter part of this year when those eclipses come in. So I expect late summer to the early fall months to bring with it the most violent storms and quakes of all. It's going to be a heck of a hurricane season, friends. I would also warn our folks in Mexico and also in Chile, both those countries. I send a big warning to the Pacific side of the coast for a tsunami that will be caused by a quake beneath the Pacific. Don't know when, but that's what Spirit gave me today. And I have a list of predictions for you in a bit. In the United States, I see 2 volcanoes erupting within the next year to 2 years within national parks. It's not going to be the Yellowstone supervolcano, but I do see Yellowstone Park being shut down to tourists due to magma concerns seeping from the earth. Interesting, right? I also see Mount St. Helens eruption. I had visions, reminders basically of the Mount St. Helens eruption back in 1980. I'm not saying it's Mount St. Helens, but it's going to be like that eruption, I would imagine. It probably is Mount St. Helens. But be aware of that warning, because Spirit said the warning will come first in the way of very small earthquakes. Just small ones, so they might be below 4.5. Yeah, like 2s, but a series of them, Spirit says. A series of small quakes nearby a volcano in the United States, likely Mount St. Helens. And this is when folks should become concerned and ready for the eruption. And again, not to be scared, but always to be prepared and have a plan. It's important to have a plan, friends. I told y'all I just got myself an electric generator, portable shower. What else? Emergency radio. I already have food, but I'm going to get more. It's just important. Be prepared, friends, not scared. So this takes us to our next subject. And it burns, 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 a ring of fire. The ring of fire, because it's burning, baby. Yeah, the Earth's crust right now and the ring of fire are flaring up from the latest tsunami wave of energy that came flowing in just yesterday. And it started flaring up before the eclipse and before that tsunami wave. Remember, we had a tsunami wave of energy. The first of 3 came in on the full moon at the end of March. So it all started flaring up then. This eclipse just heightens it even more, and just wait till the next big wave comes on the next full moon. It's going to be wild, friends. It'll be interesting, to say the least. Not just in the way of weather, but in everything. So Spirit said that the tectonic plates are flaring up around the Pacific and the Pacific Ring of Fire. Indonesia just got hit today, this morning, with a 6.6 shallow quake. I tried to see if I could find any footage on it, if there's any video or any damage, but it was in the red on the earthquake map, which I'll bring up in a few minutes and show you. When it's in the red, it's usually, again, the shaky ones. The shallow quakes can also, again, be the most effective when it comes to shaking things up. And Spirit says Indonesia will continue with quakes, shakes. They're going to shake, rattle, and roll. Shake, rattle, and roll. They really are. It's not funny, but you got to kind of have some kind of humor to get through things. If you haven't got no humor and a sense of humor, man, you're not living life to the fullest, baby. So, quakes, and there's going to be a much larger, shallow quake coming to Indonesia within the next few weeks. Few months at the most, but I'm thinking just within the next few weeks. That whole area between the Philippines, Indonesia, up towards Japan, and out to the Pacific, maybe a couple 100 miles. That whole area is extremely vulnerable to a big, something huge happening. that would affect all those countries I just mentioned. So now check this out. This is a clip from the news related to the earthquakes on the East Coast in the United States and the storms that hit. But I want to take you to take notice of this clip and take notice to something that I find to be extremely symbolic in this little news report. Check it out.
Again, here we're on Brunswick Avenue. We have a resident here, David Fisher. He says that this felt like an explosion when it first went off.
At first, I felt a rumble with like a slight boom. So I thought it was part of the construction. And the next thing you know, my boss comes in and she was like, "Oh my God, did you feel that?"
I don't think we're getting any storms after what has been an absolutely brutal week of weather in the city. I mean, Degan, some of the ugliest days in memory were Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. Would you not agree?
I would say a couple of days ago, I would not have used the word biblical, but today, biblical. It's been a biblical week.
In New York City, nearly 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Look at this, lightning striking the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor.
We want to show you a picture. This is from here in New York, lightning striking the Statue of Liberty.
I mean, initially, within the first couple seconds, the dogs reacted to something, and then within about a second or so, it felt like an explosion. Sounded like an explosion, and you felt waves come up from underneath you. And my initial reaction was that the furnace had exploded. So I yelled down to my son to check the furnace. He said everything was okay. He came up the stairs, and then you felt the house shift. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for about 10 seconds. I've never felt anything like it.
And it's so interesting. The dogs felt it before you did. You said that they started barking.
Right. Initially, they started barking, I would say, about 1 or 2 seconds before you felt an explosion. You heard an explosion, and that's what I thought it was.
It hit New Jersey, it hit New York, it hit Philadelphia, even Vermont, all reporting feeling the trembling.
And I would say about 20 after 10, if that was the time,
Thank you.
there was a gigantic explosion sound. And it was like, I looked around the club, there were about 75 people here, and everybody was looking around. It's like, that's not normal. And then a couple of the United employees came over my way, and one of them said, "What was that?" And somebody else said, "I've never heard anything like that."
As the tremors were being felt throughout the city, of course, as we take a look at it here. You know, it's interesting because some people were saying it felt like a train was going by when you were talking to Maurice Dubois. Wasn't he saying he thought a train was going by, but he doesn't have a train line right next to his place?
And the tremors sent a web of cracks into a driveway in Morrisville, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. My heart is like still racing. And, 10 minutes away, someone I know didn't feel it. And then 15 minutes the other way, they felt it. So it's just very odd and kind of scary.
With shockwaves felt 300 miles away.
People in at least 10 states and even right here in the nation's capital experienced some shaking. The aftershocks are still coming tonight.
It was just very strong. I'm actually still hearing rumblings. I don't know what it is. And just a little bit ago, I felt a tremor, aftershock. Like I said, I'm not used to this stuff. So we are still hearing.
Ashley, was it similar to what you heard initially more than an hour ago?
Not as strong. Definitely not as strong. But every 5-10 minutes, maybe spacing out longer, it sounds like thunder, and I don't know what it is. If it has something to do with the earthquake, but I'm definitely hearing it. And then, like I said a little bit ago, again felt something. Definitely not as strong, but it was something. So I don't know if that's the result of the earthquake, but like I said, I'm right by the epicenter, and that was just very surreal.
Wow.
Scary indeed, especially for those who've never experienced the earth shaking beneath their feet. Let me tell you, it's not, could you imagine? Now imagine this. Imagine an earthquake so strong that it knocks you off your feet and doesn't allow you to gain ground and stability. That's the quakes that people are going to be witnessing over the next 5 years. And it was only just a 4.8 quake. But did you notice the symbolism in this? I'll get back to that symbolism in just a moment, but it was only a 4.8 quake. Only. I mean, still 4.8 shallow was pretty good, but luckily it didn't cause nothing but some cracks. A few buildings were cracked or what have you. Nothing collapsing and no disaster, thankfully. But the epicenter, if you go to the USGS, the epicenter of that first quake, that 4.8, was in a town called White House Station, New Jersey. And I'm from that area in the East Coast, and I've been all over. I used to travel every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to hotels or to people's homes to do group sessions. I've been to White House Station many times doing group sessions, so I know it well. I know all Jersey well. Jersey technically is kind of small because I've been through the whole state all over and probably every town in this state. But look at the picture that was in that news report. Look at this picture of the Statue of Liberty being struck by lightning. And I'm guessing that, yeah, there's probably a lightning rod up there somewhere, but to me, it was igniting the torch of the Statue of Liberty, or putting it out, one or the other. Lightning lights things up, so I'm going to say it was lighting up the torch. That's symbolic. White House Station. Now, some people believe, and it's very possible, because we know that they have technology that can make things happen, especially earthquakes. We know that. We know they have the dews, the mountain dews, the DEWs. You know about them, which are also can be used to cause things. I saw a video clip. I was going to include it today, but I didn't. Because I don't know if it's real. It looked real. Of a laser going into a volcano and activating it. I thought that was interesting. Is that what this big blow is going to be? Because a lot of people are going to think that it's all, conspiracy and being caused by governments. And a lot of it will be. But the Earth is still waking up. And they're going to irritate Mother Earth even more by messing with her. And she's gonna strike back eventually. So the White House Station, the Statue of Liberty, no doubt. That actually also puts my predictions in the past into more clear vision for us, where I said the White House was going to have a great shaking, multiple great shakings. I mean, whatever it is, it's going to be major, like the biggest thing ever to happen in the White House. I've also talked about D.C. and the Capitol building being a target in the future. And I also had visions of the White House being locked down like a third world country like it was back in 2020. Was it 2020? Whatever it was ridiculous is what it was. 2021? Spirit said 2021. So I'm going to go with 2021. I don't argue with spirits. I'll argue with people, but I won't argue with the spirits. I might be wrong, but man, they're always right on. I might misinterpret things or hear them incorrectly. But those spirits, man, Team Spirit, gotta love them babies. You gotta love those babies. So, is Spirit telling us that a huge shaking is coming to the White House? I have no doubt. The one in D.C., of course, that White House, not White House Station. So, Mother Earth and the Divine Creator is definitely sending signs. Like the eclipse crossing the city of Jonah and then other cities named Nineveh. And Rapture, Indiana. Little Egypt, Cairo. I mean, there's no coincidences, friends. Very, very symbolic. The Statue of Liberty being struck. Spirit says his big strikes are coming to New York City. In the entire state of New York. Big strikes on the city. Can you give us some more information on that, Spirits? Big strikes starting with major storms. I see again visions of flooded streets. It reminds me of that movie, my lord. What was that movie? The Last Day? Or Tomorrow? What's the name of that movie? I think it's The Last Day. When the streets are all flooded and the big wave comes. I'm not seeing the big wave, by the way. I do no doubt believe that's going to happen in the future eventually. Hopefully no time soon. Big strikes to New York City. What else, Spirit? Flooded streets, flooded subways, big storm. This has to be a direct hit from a hurricane or a direct hit from a major tropical storm. September pops into my mind strongly, so there's a hit coming then. End of August into September, that's probably the weather-related one. July, there's a hit to New York City, especially to Wall Street. Another hit to Wall Street, which is economically related in October. So I don't know what the hit to Wall Street is likely in July. I would think an event, maybe an attack of some sort. Not sure. And Spirit says that the military, not even the National Guard, but the military must protect the bridges and tunnels of New York City before they lose them in the not far off future. Now, for Spirit, not far off future could be a couple of years down the road. But Spirit's showing me, remember my visions I had of the tunnels and bridges back in December. I had that vision of the bridge collapsing. Creepy. But I've been warning about the tunnels in New York. And look at that. I forgot about that too, by the way. Spirit reminded me. That whole Maryland bridge, there's a tunnel there as well. I guess that goes under the river, and certain freight can't go through that tunnel, especially toxic stuff or whatever. Yeah, you can go over the water, though, but not under the water. That makes a lot of sense now, doesn't it? No, not at all. You would want to put the toxic stuff underneath so that it doesn't end up polluting the water or something. Thankfully, that bridge didn't happen, that incident, during the day when there were toxic chemical trucks on the bridge, potentially. So thankfully, that wasn't the key. Speaking of bridges, I found this to be very, very interesting. So, remember my vision? Well, not mine. My friend had a dream. He has very prophetic dreams, and we brainstormed together. I'm really good at interpreting things. Spirit, and I talked about this last week, so I'm not going to go into it. You can go back to last week's show and check it out. But long story short, his dream pulled him and us to Boston. In our conversation, the Boston Marathon popped in my mind. Not that it had anything to do with the marathon, but his dream was revolved around bridges and a specific location. We had to interpret where the location was, and it was pretty easy for him to interpret where it was. And I had the vision of the Boston Marathon. So then I went on and looked to see if there were any marathons that crossed over bridges. Maybe Spirit was trying to get us to that specific bridge. But here's what I thought was really creepy. Just yesterday, the day before, another barge almost slammed into a bridge in New York, which would have taken it out completely, and it would have been a disaster, especially for New Yorkers. The ship, they say, suddenly lost propulsion. Lost control of the propulsion. They couldn't control it anymore. Isn't that exactly what happened in Maryland? Watch the video close up. You see this ship, the power goes out. It goes on and hurries up and steers, goes into full thrust and shuts down again, so you can't stop it. I have no doubt they were trying to do that again in New York. And this is the creepy part that I thought of. That bridge in New York, that bridge has the largest marathon in the world that crosses that bridge. And it's actually quite controversial right now as well. And I'll tell you why as soon as I find the article. There it is. The MTA wants to charge New York City Marathon for shutting down the Verrazano Bridge. That's the bridge, by the way, the Verrazano Bridge. The Metropolitan Transportation Authority is asking the New York Roadrunners to pay $750,000 every year. The MTA says that is how it will lose. That's how much toll revenue they will use at the Verrazano Bridge when it's closed to cars for the marathon. So already they don't want anybody going over that bridge. I mean, runners. And they're worried about income. Now, you know they're insured out the butt for these bridges. Not only are some of these bridges are actually privately owned, and they're insured. The bridge in Maryland's insured. So is the shipping company that hit it. But JB wants you to pay for it out of your taxes. That's it. They want us to pay out of taxes, our taxes, to support building this new bridge. Insurance companies are supposed to pay that. What the insurance companies probably paid them off so they didn't have to pay for the bridge. Guaranteed. We'll have to check their bank accounts. I bet you they got a couple million in their bank accounts all of a sudden out of nowhere. I just thought it was really interesting. The bridge and all that. And I'll get back to that in a little bit because I think I have more on bridges later, along with a whole bunch of predictions. But that I just flowed in, and actually it is later on in my notes, but we covered it now. All the better. So again, I can feel the vibration of the earth shifting completely, which is really interesting. I never felt it like that. I've had communications with Mother Earth before, and she gave me a message years ago, and there's a video on it, a message from Mother Earth. I should probably dig that out and redo it. That's a good idea, spirits. I think I'll do that. I'm going to dig that up and redo it. I had a friend do the voice because, Mother Earth should be female, right? I thought it'd be weird for me to say it, but maybe I'll do it myself the next round. It's a good idea. Good idea, spirits. Good idea. So yeah, the earth is shifting. And if you close your eyes, right? Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Relax. Sit on the ground, yoga style, or lay on the ground. Better yet, if you lay on the ground, because laying on the ground is just amazing as is. And Mother Earth just absorbs all the, everything just melts into Mother Earth that doesn't serve us anymore. But sit down, lay down on the earth, take some deep breaths, relax, and connect to the earth beneath you. And I'm telling you, with some practice, and you might not need much practice, you're going to feel her vibration. And what I felt over the past few days is totally, completely different than what I've felt in the past. So I found that to be really what was really interesting. She's vibrating on a different level that I've never experienced. It's both exciting, but it's also somewhat concerning as well. Exciting and concerning and frightful when it comes to potential, of course, earthquakes and storms that are going to hit like never before in the not far off future. Speaking of storms, let us move on to some weather events, because I received a comment from a member of our tribe. Do you vibe with the tribe? You got to smash that subscribe. So yeah, I received a comment from one of our friends down under in Australia, Mike, stating that the floods that I predicted, I don't know how long ago, but I did predict floods, had to be, maybe even in my weather predictions actually, the weather prediction video. For Sydney, South Wales, I saw flooded streets and such in my visions. I shared that all with you. And this is the footage coming from Australia. Craziness. Spirit says there's a lot more to come. More than 150 people have been rescued while others are being told to leave their homes from this 3-day record-breaking rainfall. The area's main reserve was literally overflowing, causing problems with their drinking water as well. That's not good. Remember the Spirit talking about waters becoming tainted. That could be one of the ways through floods, no doubt about it. So prayers to our friends down under in Australia. And hold on tight, friends, because you still got more to come. More to come. And in the northern part, which there might not be many people, I don't know Australia, but Spirit says in the northern part, they're going to start to experience earthquakes coming from the islands above. I don't know what that means. I'm just passing the information. Spirits are always chatty bunch on Tuesdays. Aren't we glad and grateful? So moving on about storms. What's happened here? I also warned our friends down in Cape Town, Africa, in South Africa, in Southern Africa, of major flooding events that were going to come. So check out this footage here of high winds that are so high it blows the vehicle right over the bridge. That literally just made me shudder. Oh my God, could you imagine being that poor person in the vehicle? And I really hope the folks are okay. The wind's so strong that it moved a red truck. High winds and floods that anyone in those storms right now would think it was apocalyptic times. So prayers to our friends in Africa and Cape Town. Be safe. Be well. And remember on April 10th, which is tomorrow actually, or today if you're watching this on the 10th, I don't know. Some parts of the planet it is the 10th, and you might be one that watches this on Wednesday mornings, because I know a lot of you don't watch it because it's late. So on April 10th, we got that Saturn and Mars will be in this spectacular conjunction. And you'll be able to see it with the naked eye in the sky. The planetary conjunction occurs when two planets appear very close together in the sky from our perspective down here on Earth. This is what's important, though. This Mars conjunction with Saturn always has a heavy effect when it comes to water, earthquakes, and even tsunamis. We already had the solar eclipse energy, the Mercury retrograde and energy shift, all influencing the Earth's crust and weather events. This is bound, friends, bound to bring some sudden huge storms, dropping several inches of rain very, very quickly, causing major floods. Globally, not just everywhere. Doesn't matter. That Mars conjunct Saturn isn't prejudiced. It's going to get you no matter where you are. It's got good aspects too, of course. You can look that up for yourself. If you missed my weather prediction video again, where I did some map scrying, we went through all the hurricane names and tropical storm names and got the vibration to see which ones had the strongest vibration of causing big problems. So check that out, because Spirit's saying now that this hurricane season is going to be a doozy. Not just hurricanes, but serious tropical storms hitting globally. Spirit's showing me this now. I get China is in for a long haul with severe weather events, which is already being ignited with big earthquakes. Yeah, they are getting hit with earthquakes, but I'm saying like severe typhoon type weather causing bridges to wash away and even dams to break. And even in the northern parts of Japan, Spirit shows me, and even in Tokyo as well, severe flooding from a major typhoon that will be coming in the late summer, early fall. It literally looks like waterfall coming from the sky. It's so heavy. That's wild. Wild vision, wild vision. One day I'll be able to capture my visions and show them to you. That would be interesting now, wouldn't it? They probably already have creepy technology that reads your mind and does that. Going back to the attack on bridges, cyber attacks, because again, you know, I jumped into it way before I got to that point, talking about the bridges and the whole thing that happened with Spirit showing me the Boston Marathon and all. And I told you about the other bridge, the Marathon Bridge. Oh, here's the article. Is that the article? I don't know what miracle happened that bridge didn't get taken out. But a warning for bridges. And from bridges to aeroplanes. The two planes that you may have just heard of. Two close calls, very close calls with planes. People were lucky. Especially people in the control tower of one particular airport where a Southwestern flight almost crashed directly into the control tower. That would have been horrific. The other one was the plane that you see here, which is just literally the cover to the engine. They must have left the hood up and the wind blew it. I bet you that's what happened. They left the hood up. Kind of like if you leave your hood up on your car and drive real fast, it's going to blow up, fall apart. It's probably what happened. But regardless, it happened. That's not good, friends. That's not good at all. Because, you know, last year we had the whole thing on trains, remember? The train derailments and all the train. I did a video on it. And how I said last year that I believed that the trains were being cyber attacked and sabotaged purposely. That's in my video. Go check it out. I forget what it's called, but something about trains. I put a lot of energy in there. There's a lot of really valuable information in there that people aren't aware of in that video. And that's why I did that video, because I believed that there was specific attacks happening on our trains. Now it feels like they're sabotaging our aeroplanes. Aeroplanes! It does. It really seems like they are doing that to airplanes. It's so bizarre. So both Southwestern flights this time. I don't know what kind of planes they were, especially the one that fell apart. Probably all connected to the same planes that they've had issues with over and over and over again. Really, really crazy. Yeah, so the container ship, someone left a comment. The container ship lost power in New York City Harbor right before the Verrazano Bridge narrows. Well, I told you another one was coming and there were sabotages of our bridges. Hold on tight. That's why, again, Spirit said they need to, especially New York City for whatever reason. I'd say Boston, too, based on my buddy's dream. Both Boston and especially that bridge, that same bridge that they just had that close call, the Rarazano Bridge or whatever it's called. Beware, friends, beware. And what concerns me the most now is Spirit showing me and my friend, based on his dream, multiple things instead of just showing us Boston and something happening there, but showing me the marathon, showing me that something's going to happen again in the future revolved around a marathon. Not necessarily the Boston Marathon, which happens in 6 days on the 15th, which is also tax day, which is also the day they sunk the Titanic. And I do say they sunk the Titanic. Yes, they did. They, meaning the global elite, because the people on that ship were totally against the global banking system that they wanted to put into place. So they sent them all on this special trip to make sure that they drowned so that they can get their global banking enslavement system. So that's what concerned me about Boston. That date, not necessarily being the marathon, because I wasn't feeling that. But Spirit showing me a marathon, I'm thinking the marathon going across the bridge. So I really hope that they secure that New York Marathon, because that's 3 days or a couple days before the election. It's November 3rd is the New York Marathon, if I remember the date correctly. I'm pretty sure it's November 2nd or November 3rd, one of those. So be prepared, friends. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to run in that marathon. It just creeps me out. Now, as we get closer to things coming into fruition, I often get more information, or Spirit will show it to me again because we're coming close to it coming into fruition. So we'll have to see how that ends up. In other news, Israel is doing exactly what Spirit told us that Israel was going to do. They are planning to go into Rafah, a place that was deemed safe from the conflict, telling people to go there, like literally gathering them all together, saying it's safe. But now they're planning on going in there with their troops, going back on their word, saying that that's a safe zone for people, as they plan to bring more conflict to this only safe area for people to flee. This is just sad, friends. The whole thing's just sad. And this will be another disaster, according to Spirit. And the sad reality is that this is going to make Israel the biggest target ever. Not just Israel, the United States and other ally countries. And you know, China, Spirit's showing me China swooping down like a vulture. Like I see a big vulture, it says China on the wings, swooping down into Turkey and Iran to assist them in this pact. And they are, basically, I see a vision, Spirit shows me, they're all sitting around the table saying, if they go in the Rafah, we're going to do B instead of A. So they have a plan A, that they're sitting on, waiting to see what else happens. And Israel will be in grave danger. Remember Spirit telling us a great wall will fall. What if it's the wall that protects them? I forget what they call it. The iron wall. That's what they call it. The iron wall. What if it's that wall? That'd be interesting. That would be hopefully not happen ever. What if it's the wall in Jerusalem? That's possible too. I think the Great Wall falling is going to be Wall Street. But it could be multiple things. You know, if you watched long enough and you've been hanging out with the tribe for years now, you know that, there's sometimes multiple events in one prediction from Spirit. Like sometimes they'll show me one thing that has multiple meanings to it. Kind of like my friend's dream and me seeing the Boston Marathon. I feel like there's multiple meaning to us collaborating and brainstorming together with the dream and my intuition. So sad. Prayers to those people over there in the Middle East, because it's going to get really dirty. And Spirit warned, and Spirit said Netanyahu needs to go. And he's becoming a huge target himself. And do not be surprised. Remember, I told you, many people will drop from power, and some of them will be taken out completely out of power in some way or another. And we have yet to see we've seen some of it. Look what's happened in many different places already. Besides that, what's to come is going to be shocking stuff. And to me, Spirit shows me literally a laser pointer on Netanyahu right here. Well, actually, it's right on the side, right above the ear. So I don't know if that's saying that that's what's going to happen, or if Spirit's just telling us that, he's a target. But that could be what happens. So hopefully not. All good things for all people. Always wish good to all people, whether you like them or agree with them or disagree with them. Still wish them well. So Spirit warned us in the past, showing me that Iran and Turkey are aligned, and China again is about to swoop in a big way. Some of China's hackers, they're cyber attackers, hackers or cyber attackers, are stationed in Iran. And they even transported their own hackers into countries to attack from the inside. This is connected to their sleeper cells, I would say. So they have sleeper cells that aren't like sleeper cells that are going to activate and go out and attack on the streets. They're sleeper cells that are attacking digitally. Interesting. Are going to attempt. Let me say going to attempt. Let's hold in the light that they fail at their attempts. Completely. Miserably fail. So let us hold all that in the light that the proper authorities, this is a better thing to hold in the light, that proper authorities identify and arrest these terror-driven China and Iran-backed militia, because that's basically what they are. Spirit says they are going for the water next. Going for the water next. Speaking of that, because I don't know if I said it earlier or not, but ships, boats. So first we saw the trains. Then we saw the planes. And maybe we'll see automobiles going crazy next. That was in my predictions, and seeing automobiles, vehicles being used, sadly, as like a weapon. So that could be next. And then boats and ships. It seems like every form of transportation. And even how transportation affects us, like going across bridges or going through tunnels. Interesting. Creepy at the same time. So they're going after the water, Spirit says. So we must closely watch our water reserves, and more importantly, our dams that supply water and energy both. Remember my concerns in the past, for years now, around the Hoover Dam. And the symbolism around the Hoover Dam and the Freemason symbolism that shows that they built it only in the future take it back down. I hope that's wrong. What happened there? There we go. And eventually, it's on my list to do a video with all that symbolism of the Hoover Dam. I never got around to it because I'm a busy man, but that's still on my list to do. So hopefully I'll knock that out. Maybe I should do that soon, that one in the wave that's going to hit New York City eventually. So don't get all freaked out. Nothing you can do if if it's in your soul contract and you're meant to be in an epicenter when something happens, you're meant to be there. If not, and you have this sudden urge to get out or go somewhere, look at what happened during the event in 2001 in New York City. How many people reportedly called out sick that day, decided not to go to work that day? Like a crazy amount of people. Amazing stories revolved around that. So again, worrying about it ain't going to help you. Listen to your intuition. If something tells you not to go to work that day, just don't go to work that day. Not because you're lazy and don't want to go to work, but because something tells you not to go. That kind of scenario. So Israel's igniting a response from Iran, and Iran will be backed by Turkey in a retaliation on Israel, which is basically the plan to bring the United States into a conflict and to hurry and do so before the U.S. elections. In other news, the bird flu outbreak causes over 2 million chickens to be unalived, and they all face the guillotines at the chicken farm. It's happening again, friends. The attack on our food. It's spring here in the northern hemisphere. This is the time, friends, more than ever to grow a garden. Grow a garden. And even if you live in an apartment, you can get a little pot and grow lettuce or spinach in it. You can grow sweet potatoes. They're actually a nice plant. If you like plants in your house, get a plant, the hanging plant or a big pot. Plant some sweet potatoes in there. And that's what I'm actually going to plant some of my sweet potatoes. Usually I plant them in the ground, but this year I'm actually going to plant them in a pot. Some of them in a pot and see how that works out. So I recommend highly that you start growing your own food. It's not hard. If you use a lot of herbs for cooking, you can do a herb garden right in your windowsill of your kitchen. Now's the time, friends. I want chickens. I really want chickens for eggs and chickens. And we're not allowed to have them because of their silly HOA that likes to make you feel like you're living back in, Germany in the Great Second Conflict. That's what they like to make you feel here. And I'm really going to fight for chickens because I'm going to get to a point where I'm just going to get them and be like, you try to get me to get rid of them kind of thing. I just think it's ridiculous. It attracts prey is what they say. So do dogs and cats. They attract prey. We live out here. Everything attracts prey, including your trash can. So don't even go there with my chickens. They'd be protected and they'd be fine. I want chickens. Don't you want some chickens? I think they'd be my friends. I think they'd be fun. No rooster, though. I'd end up shooting it and then feeling bad about it afterwards. Rooster waking you up that early in the morning? Oh, no way. Where was I? I think I was in Peru, actually. I was in Peru. And there was a rooster nearby. And it wasn't real close, but it was close enough that every morning. Now, if I was a person that awoke that early in the morning, then I'd think it would be cool. That's my alarm clock. But I don't get up at the same time as a rooster gets up. That's for sure. Did you see the controversy around the Amazon palm scanners? They have these Amazon stores you go into, and now Whole Foods, they have it here in Sedona where you can scan your palm. Well, experts are now warning of digital enslavement. That's right, friends. Digital enslavement as Amazon pushes palm scan payment service. E-commerce giant Amazon has just launched a new technology that makes it far easier to sign up for its palm scanning payment service, sparking renewed concerns amongst privacy experts with some warning that it's another pebble in the growing rock ripple of big tech. I like the way that guy worded that. That's kind of funny. Big tech enabled Orwell-style digital enslavement. Oh, I like the way that guy said that. Sparking reviewed concerns amongst the privacy experts with some warning that it's another pebble in the growing rock pile of big tech-enabled Orwell digital enslavement. I really like that. Who's this guy? I like his article. So you can look it up for yourself, but basically there's big warnings that you're going to become digital cattle. James Lindsay, founder of the New Discourses and author of several books, including Race, Marxism, and Social Injustice, told the Epoch Times that he sees the development of a fresh evidence of a broader push towards tech-enabled digital enslavement by the way of a series of nodes that includes the central bank digital system, the CBDC, tongue-tied, dyslexia, CBDC, not CDBC. I did that. I was going to do that backwards. We know that's what it is, friends. I would never do that. Too bad I wasn't thinking back in the day when Apple got everybody's fingerprints. Now they got your face. What do you think they do with that? I mean, come on now. The CIA and all is all big part of that, friends. Let's move on to some predictions. What does the future hold? I see an embassy attack that very much reminds me of Benghazi. Now, Spirit says multiple. But there will be a repeat of Benghazi, according to Spirit. There's going to a lot of shutdowns are coming of embassies in different countries, especially U.S. and Israel pulling out of embassies out of certain countries in the Middle East. It's going to become a really big thing when they start targeting embassies, including hitting one embassy with a missile. Spirit just told me all that just now. So Spirit says that they meaning, I don't know, I have no idea. I'm guessing that Spirit's referring to the global elite or the royal families, the 13 royal bloodlines, that they are going to hit Iran and Turkey both with their little earthquake machine. Interesting, especially Iran. So when we see massive quakes hitting like we did last year in Turkey, when we see Turkey and Iran especially being hit, it's not going to be natural according to Spirit. So that's one to look out for. There will also be several volcanoes beneath the Pacific becoming very active, some visible to us and others that are going to not be visible to us other than the boiling, bubbling waters that come up to the surface. At least one of these blasts is going to cause a major quake and to crack beneath the Pacific. I think I actually have deja vu. I believe I received that in one of my channel prediction videos. So at least one of these is going to cause a big crack beneath the Pacific, Great Pacific. I'm pulled to 3 different places specifically. First, I'm pulled out to sea off the coast of the Philippines, just below Japan. There will also be a massive earthquake hitting the Philippines and a potential of a tsunami reaching the shores of the Philippines and Indonesia both. Little waves hitting Japan, little. Mostly around their volcanic islands, I believe, which I would think nobody lives there anyway, so that would be good. The other awakening of underwater volcanoes pulls me very close to the Americas off the coast closer to Mexico. I feel that Mexico City is going to be rocked with earthquakes, and they're already being rocked with water shortages, sadly. They're going to be rocked with earthquakes as well, and I see a huge wave hitting a small island. I'm not sure where this was, but I had that vision this morning. A huge wave hitting an island, and I'm thinking it's a series of islands, actually, because I saw one island completely going underwater from the wave, like completely. And I don't think anybody's on that island, actually. I don't feel like there's people on that particular island. On the other islands, yeah, likely so. But the one island looks small, and I just saw the water just wash it away. Eventually, it'll poke back up out of the water again. But I saw the water washing it away. Several islands pulling one island beneath the sea for a short period of time, and I don't know where this is. Perhaps the Solomon Islands, but I'm really not sure. Spirit also says to watch the sun's activity. Spirit told us this last year. What I'm about to say to you, this is a little different this year, but last year Spirit said watch the sun because as soon as the flare pointing towards the earth hits, the earthquake will come. That's exactly what happened in Turkey. I think that's what it was. Because Spirit also said when the full moon rings in or something. I can't remember everything I say, but yeah, that all happened last year. Spirit says to watch the sun's activity very closely, that the sun is going to be what's going to warn us of what's coming. So Spirit says that we're going to see a significant double sun flare. One much larger than the other, but both significant, that are going to ignite a major earthquake like that, which we seen last year in Turkey. I believe this hit somewhere in the Middle East, between, say, Afghanistan and Turkey. If it's more towards Afghanistan, then we know it's natural. If it's directly in Iran or directly in Turkey, we know it's not natural. Remember MH370? The plane, the Malaysian airline plane that just suddenly disappeared? A plane that had very, very important scientists on that plane? You ever read the stories about that? And who it was on that plane necessarily? Yeah, they didn't take those people. They took the people. In the plane, but they took the people. We did that. That was years ago. Well, I see another plane disappearing with important people on it. I don't know where it's disappearing to. Spirit didn't tell me that, but all I got in my notes here is a plane will disappear like MH370. Now, Vietnam comes to mind. That's a country I never really mentioned, or not much anyway. And I feel Vietnam. Do we have any friends in Vietnam? They probably don't. They're probably not addicted to the internet like Americans are. Maybe in the cities, probably. But Vietnam, Spirit showed me, is about to get hit with some terrible weather patterns and also experiencing a significant sized earthquake. I see major flooding. I had visions of mud rivers and mudslides in Vietnam. I see the volcanic area of southern Japan becoming very, very irritated and causing several earthquakes and small volcanic eruptions to occur along their southern point. The eruptions will be far enough away from people to be safe, I believe, for sure. Although the earthquakes, in turn, will cause damage to certain towns and cities in the southern part of Japan. I also see a plane somehow in reference with a bridge or a body of water with a bridge. It reminded me of what happened at the Hudson River years back. And I had a vision years ago. I forget when it was. But I had a vision of a plane going down in water that looked like a river or a creek. And then it happened in the Hudson River when Captain Sully landed his plane in the middle of the Hudson. Thankfully, he did it in a way that actually saved everybody instead of, nobody was injured or anything. It all turned out to be good, luckily for him. Well, Spirit gave me visions that reminded me of that past event. Except in this particular vision, I don't feel like they're as lucky as Sully's flight was, sadly. And I don't know if it's... in the vision, I saw the bridge and the plane going down. I didn't see the plane hit the ground, but I knew it was going to before my vision came to a stop. And it was heading towards, and there was a bridge there. I don't know if it's hitting the bridge. I'm not saying it is, but it's hitting right near the bridge. I don't know what country this is or where this is. That's what I got. That's what Spirit showed me. And I also see ships being sabotaged. And the aspect of Spirit telling me that there are going to be many shipwrecks. Get ready for this. This is a big one, Spirit. Remember, I told you it's going to go over to boats. It's definitely going to boats and ships. Because Spirit's telling me that there's going to be many shipwrecks. And even one ship that's going to go missing in the Bermuda Triangle specifically. And I see another ship disappearing in the Indian Ocean. I see an explosive, actually. Something being stuck purposefully to the side of a ship. And then when I saw this vision, they came up on a boat, quietly came up on a boat, stuck this on the side of the ship, and then sped off. As they sped off, I saw the side of the ship blow out. And then I saw the ship begin to sink very, very quickly. Sadly, I feel like we're going to be hearing about ships being sunk purposefully in the fashion I just explained, and even from likely missiles. We have seen so many mishaps, first again with the trains, now the aeroplanes, and then also now it's going to move on to ships. So boats and ships. So friends, I love going out on the water. Not that I've done so in many years. I love being out on the water on a boat, fishing, crabbing, whatever. But that would kind of freak me out right now. I would have to tell you not to be freaked out, but to be extremely careful, especially when it comes to storms. Because in the next prediction, Spirit shows me during the summer months, a storm, a major storm, is going to be blamed for missing fishermen and several others that are missing in storms this coming season. We're going to hear a lot of that this year. Globally, everywhere, not just, United States, everywhere. I see a volcanic eruption, and I think I said this earlier, but it's still in my notes, a volcanic eruption happening in the United States around the national park. Perhaps Yellowstone, but not the supervolcano. But definitely enough to cause alarm. The Pope keeps coming to my mind again, and I told you the Pope's on his way out. We all know it. You don't even need to be psychic to figure that out, especially being he canceled some of his Easter stuff. Some of the things, and I told you that he was going to do that, just like the Queen did. When Queen Elizabeth started canceling out and not doing things that she normally does, I told you that'll be the sign that she's going. Well, that's what the Pope's doing right now. Not doing things that the Pope would normally do. It's not good. He's in his 1 year in numerology. Last I looked, I'm pretty sure he's in his 1 year. And, that's why I thought he was going to pass last year. So I was wrong on that aspect because I really did believe he was going to pass last year because he was in his 9 year. 9 year people often pass. Not always, but often. But there are people that pass in their 1 year too. Look at Lisa Marie Presley was in her 1 year when she passed from a massive heart attack. The Pope's on his way out. And I would say perhaps right around the next eclipse, which is October 2nd, I believe. That popped in my mind. Lots of controversy will come when it comes to the new one. See, now I literally thought that was it. This Pope would be the it before the collapse. Apparently that wasn't correct. But the next Pope's going to be controversial. Not sure why. We'll have to keep our eyes out on that. And that may not even come to 2025 at all. So it could be that the Pope ends up going, again, somewhere around the eclipse in October, towards the end of the year, and then a new one coming in 2025. Which is interesting, because also 2020, and I wouldn't be surprised if they keep that Pope alive by the skin of his teeth by early next year. Because remember, next year on the planet Earth is a 9 vibration. Endings, death of cycles, big things happen in 9 vibrations. The end of the cycle, friends, 2025. It's going to be wild. It'll be exciting, too. Again, all good things come too. Good and bad, positive and negative, just like a battery. You do not get juice out of a battery unless there's an equal polarity of positive and negative. Otherwise, if there's too much positive, it's going to blow up in your face. And if there's too much negative, you're not going to get any juice out of the battery at all. Our lives is like a battery. We need to have an equal balance. You know, I had like back east a friend that was always love. She was just too positive. It was just annoying, actually. I'm like, do you ever have a bad day? Oh, yeah, I do. I'm like, well, sure, heck, don't seem like it. You're too high in that positive vibration. And that's possible, too, just like it's possible to be too low in the lower vibration. You got to be equal, friends. Balanced. Everything's about balance. I also want to warn our friends down in Mexico. Our friends in Mexico and also Chile. I might have said this earlier, but I'm going to say it again in the list of predictions for today. So the folks in Mexico and Chile on the Pacific side of the coast, a warning for potential tsunami caused by an earthquake beneath the Pacific, especially higher up in South America. So that would be, again, Mexico and part of that little part of California there. And that's where the eclipse crosses too, by the way. The next eclipse crosses the Pacific right there, right towards that peninsula at California, whatever you call that little island thing that sticks out. Right off that coast is where it's at, friends. Right off that coast. And I think that's going to sum it up for today, except for one other thing.
You've got mail. I'm so excited to open up mail.
Presents. You gotta love the caring people who go out of their way to even just send a card. What a lovely thing. I am so blessed. This comes from Vivian A. right there in New Jersey. How about that? Someone sent me an email. I just saw it this morning because I am so buried and backed up in emails and I didn't get a chance to respond because I have to work on today's show. And it takes all day. And I'm already running late. It's Mercury retrograde. Of course I'm running late. I'm a psychic. Of course I know the future. I'm a psychic. Of course I can read your mind. I'm a psychic. Of course I know what's going to happen. Vivian in New Jersey, Lyndhurst, New Jersey to be exact, sent me a lovely card with a little bunny rabbit on it. How cute. How cute is that? Happy Easter. And these came a while ago, but I don't know. I like to open them in front of you. I hope I make you smile. You sure did, Vivian. You do so much for us and are so appreciative. I look forward to your weekly show. Don't forget to open up the Easter eggs. I got you a few more because you might break the other bracelet. It was great to see you wear it. Oh, I don't have it on today, actually. Is that you? I thought your name looked familiar. Dreamcatcher. This is a pretty dream catcher. This will go in my bedroom with all the rest of my dream catchers. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Look how cool that is with the eagle. Fly like an eagle into the sea. Fly like an eagle. Let your spirit carry me. Woof. Did you send me the other dog too? Are these for my future dog? My future dog. Look at the cute little rabbit. Look how cute that is. It's so cute. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's so cute. And, oh, you sent me some seeds. You know me then. You know me well if you send seeds. Look, it's like a little Easter basket. Look, a little chocolate bunny. Oh my God, you're so sweet, Vivian. You're so sweet. There's even grass. Not the kind you can smoke. Oh, look, a little witch's broom. Oh, that's really cool. Do you know if you stick a broom upside down at your front door, it keeps out thieves and robbers. And then if there's someone in your house that you want to get rid of that won't leave and take the hint, go and stick a fork in the broom and they'll leave soon after. Look at this. This is made out of crystal. That's gorgeous. That is really gorgeous. It's got the crystal point. Isn't that gorgeous? Thank you, Vivian. Very gorgeous piece. Sweet tarts. Jelly beans. So unhealthy, but delicious. She said to open the eggs. Oh, okay. Check that out. Put that bad boy on right now. It looks like some hematite, tiger's eye, and either onyx or obsidian, maybe? Is there a different? Oh, look at this one's all tiger's eye. Oh, man, I'm going to be loaded. This is cute. That is cute. I can't put that on right now because it's got a clip. Wow, look at all the jewelry, girl. Thank you. Look, now I'm sporting it, y'all. And the seeds. So we got some lettuce. That looks like some romaine lettuce. Paris Island COS. I just planted some lettuce yesterday. You never can have enough lettuce seeds. And spinach. I just planted some spinach yesterday. Not this kind, though. And this is heirloom. So maybe I'll add this to the bunch. And some cucumbers. Never go to waste. Seeds will never go to waste with me. Thank you so much, Vivian. With infinite love and gratitude. You're going to make me fat eating chocolate, but that's okay. Because I have a very strong weakness for chocolate. Chocolate. I lost my scissors to open up this box. There it is. This box here comes from Cindy R. in Milford, Michigan. Next time I'll have to make sure I open them. At least this part of the opening before doing it on camera. My Lord, you really taped this bad boy up. Lots of tissue paper. I see another. Wow, look at this little dude. Woo. People must think I collect Beanie Babies. I do not. But he's really cute. He's a little buffalo bison. Woo. I don't have a bison. That's one of my many allies. Wow, there's so much stuff in this box. My Lord. My Lord. Oh, and the email that someone sent this morning was worried about the package being open. None of these packages were open, so you don't have to worry. I don't know who sent the email. I didn't have time to respond. My apologies. This is really cool. Excuse me. That's really cool. That's sand art, where they take sand and literally make amazing art out of it. I have one, not this one, but I have one of these, and this is from Father Sky and Mother Earth. That is cool. That is very cool. That'll go with my collection in my living room. I got so much. I forgot the card. Lighthouses. I love lighthouses. Oh, money. Oh my God, all this stuff's falling out on top of me. That is so kind of you. I mean, like, literally, that is so kind of you. Thank you for all that you do with infinite loving gratitude to you, Cindy R. from Michigan. There's a little letter in here. I'll put this aside and read it a little bit. Oh my God, look at all the stuff in this box. Very cool necklace. Totem pole? It's a totem pole, right? Yes. That is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome is what it is. Pretty awesome, pretty awesome. Moving right along to the next one. Do I feel another dream catcher? My Lord. 2 more. I'm going to have no dreams because I'm going to be catching so many dreams that I'm not going to have any more dreams. You really packed this up really sweet. Original Kottendorfer. I can't even say that word, but it's German. I don't know what that is. Incense of some sort? I think it's incense. German incense. Can't wait to check that out. There is so much stuff in this box. Oh my God, you spoiled me. This is a Petoskey fossil stone from northern Michigan. That's cool. Never even heard of that. Another one. Oh, this is really, 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 really cool. Like, really cool. I have not seen one of these. A bison carved out of, I don't know what kind of stone that is. It's really neat looking. That is wild. Cool beans. All these stones. Look, another necklace. And I mean bracelet. I'll show it to you in there so I don't mess it up because I got so much stuff out in front of me right now. Wow, you like really loaded me up from Michigan. Oh, wow, this is just gorgeous. Look at that. I love elephants. Did you hear about the elephant attack that just happened? Remember Spirit telling us about animal attacks? Look at that. That's gorgeous. Looks like it's carved out of turquoise or blue agate, one or the other, but that is just gorgeous. You know, when you have an elephant, it always has to have the trunk up, as you see here. And you want to put it in your house facing towards the front, facing towards the door. Wherever that is, always point the elephant towards your door. I got one behind me, actually. You can't see it, but it's on the shelf behind me. And that points towards the back door here, side door. That is really beautiful. Thank you very, very much for that. My mama was alive. She'd be trying to get that off of me. There's more in here. There's a lot more in here. Oh, this is really cool. Kokopelli, and you don't know this, but I have a Kokopelli theme going on in my house. Over there on the other side of the camera are Kokopelli curtains in my kitchen. Both my bathrooms are all Kokopelli. And this is going to go into actually one of my bathrooms because that's the Kokopelli theme. Thank you. That's really neat. Standing on a rock, playing his little flute. And a magical candle for aromatherapy collection. Evening Tranquility. Essential oils. Cedarwood, lavender, ylang. Ylang, ylang. Now you know I'll burn that candle. You know I'll burn that candle. I have candles always burning in my house. They're on my altar burning right now, and there's 2 more things in here. You really wrapped that up really good. All of it. I have another one package over here, too, I'll get to in a minute. Rainbow Yi. Oh, that's really cool. Look how pretty that is. It's another sand art painting. It's called Rainbow Yi. The Rainbow Yi is the spirit of the Indian legions. This picture depicts the Rainbow Yi walking upon the land in blessing the land with its wealth and water and light. That's awesome. Very, very, very cool. I don't even know if I have anywhere to put these. I'll find a place. But I don't know where. Actually, in my bedroom, because I have a native theme in my bedroom as well, and one's pretty too. Where did you get these? Whoever this artist is, they do great, amazing work. Blessing of the land. Here expressed symbolically, you have the origin both in legend and fact of the rainbow with the cloud symbol and the sun god. That is really, really impressive, Cindy. Thank you. You are such an amazing man, and you truly have a gift from God. I am so grateful to be a part of your tribe. Vibe with the tribe, baby. I hope you like the gifts I sent you. I am not an indigenous lady. I just love their culture. Me as well. Me as well. Look at the buffalo crystal. Yeah, that's really cool. This one. The buffalo crystal. I see in its face an alien. Oh, yeah, right there. Oh, crap. I don't know if you could see it from there. But totally I see it too. I think it is awesome. Yes, I do too. One day I would like to have a reading from you. I don't do PayPal or anything like that on the internet. Hopefully you will take a money order. You can do a reading. You just have to write the office, Cindy. You just have to write the office. It's simple. Thank you. With infinite love and gratitude, your gifts are splendid and exciting, both of you and Vivian. And this gift here that's probably coming from... I can't read that. Doriana? I don't know where at. I don't know what country. Malta? It says Malta. Where's that at? Sometimes I'm geographically challenged. Sometimes I'm geographically challenged. Wow, you guys all really, gals, guys, really packed these things up, didn't you? I'm assuming this must be fragile. And another card. Yeah. You know, I save all my cards. I actually have several boxes of them. Letters from people over the years and clients. A big thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, I don't have glasses. I can't read that. That's too small writing. But may God, Jesus, always bless you, Spirit Man. Full Moon, Dorsey and Anthony. See if I can read this. To me, Joseph Tittel and Spirit Man. A huge loving thank you to you and all your just amazing. And we are so lovely to have you in our lives to help guide us through the turbulent times. We love you, your episode. We are as fortunate you always... Oh, I can't read that. My eyes blur. But thank you, Dorsey. Dorsey and Anthony. I don't know what country you're in, but Malta, I guess. Is Malta a country? Do I sound a little less than smart asking that question? This is sealed really tightly, friends. Really tightly. There might even be something in my post office box now, but I haven't had a chance to get there. On the weekends, I'm always with clients, and I try not to go out into town because there's too many people. Wow, we're like wrapped and triple wrapped and double wrapped and quadruple wrapped with everything today. There's writing on this bag as well. It says, God bless you always. A huge thank you, dear Joseph Tittel, for your, and you spelled my name right, I always appreciate that, for your just brilliant with your team. Much love. Dorsey and Anthony. Oh, how'd you know I needed a new one of these for my altar? Jesus. Jesus. Oh, Lord Jesus, come with us. Maybe we'll leave him there. Maybe that'll be his new home. Thank you, Dorsey and Anthony. That was very, very kind of you. And thank all of you. Thank you for your amazing gifts. Thank you again, Dorsey and Anthony. I'm drawing a blank now. Is that awful? Vivian and Cindy. I appreciate you. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope that you appreciated this episode of Tuesday's Tittle Tea Time. I got to leave you with that. I got to get this uploaded. I'm running late. Till the next time, beautiful friends, remember you can find me at josephtittle.com or spiritmanjoseph.com or spiritmanjt.com. I'm sorry. Thank you for showing your love and clicking that thumbs up love button. And all those who smashed that subscribe and are now going to vibe with the tribe, we welcome you to the tribe. Remember to celebrate life, celebrate you. Be kind to others as you wish others be kind to you. And most importantly, be bold, be true, be kind, be you, because you're awesome. Get out there and let your light shine, baby. Let it shine. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. And much love. Much love.